That sound, huh? Elvis, just feeling it. Spontaneous. Still powerful.
It really is.
And it gets you thinking, why does Elvis Presley still feel so relevant? I mean, it's been nearly 50 years.
Yeah.
Welcome to the deep dive. We've gone through quite a bit of material, articles, fan stories, industry takes, trying to get past the usual stuff.
Exactly. Because the common picture is, the rebel, the hip shaking, freaking out the parents.
Right. That's all right. Sun Records, the start of it all.
That's definitely part of it. But his real lasting influence, it's actually much broader. Comes down to some key things he did early on.
Okay, so let's unpack one of those. This idea of cross-cultural resonance came up a lot. What are we talking about there?
Well, what's really striking is how early Elvis started mixing musical styles. Styles that were, pretty segregated back then.
Like what?
Think about the Louisiana Hayride shows. People who were there talked about him switching, like seamlessly between gospel music and R&B.
So not just sticking in one lane, he was actively pulling them together.
Yeah, actively. Now, were other people doing similar things? Sure, to some extent.
But Elvis...
But Elvis had this massive appeal, right? So he took that fusion to a way bigger audience. And this was the 1950s, remember? Music was very divided.
Right, very segregated.
So him blending those sounds, it actually helped break down some barriers, expose different crowds to each other's music,
Yeah.
The energy kind of cut through.
Yeah, that's a layer you don't always hear about. Okay, let's shift a bit. Elvis has been gone a long time, but there's always new stuff coming out. Re-releases, unheard tracks.
Right. And that brings up a definite tension.
How so?
Well, you've got the argument that, look, this keeps his music alive. It's for the fans. It finds new listeners, keeps his art relevant.
Okay, that makes sense. But there's another side.
There is the concern that maybe it's, well, exploitative,
Yeah.
that the labels are just milking the legacy for money.
Does it risk, like, watering down his original work? That sheer volume.
That's the worry some people have, yeah.
Yeah.
That it overshadows the core artistic impact. Our sources, they really show both sides of this.
So no easy answer.
Not really. Fans often get excited about finding something new, a hidden gem. But some critics do feel it dilutes the power of what he originally released. It's still debated.
Definitely something to chew on. But it's not just the archives keeping him around, is it? He feels, I don't know, weirdly present today.
Oh, absolutely. It's quite amazing how he resonates in the digital age. You see his tracks pop up on TikTok, these dance challenges.
Yeah. New generations finding him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the big biopics recently. Huge audiences introduced to his story. Plus, think about his image, his stage presence. That whole visual side set a template, didn't it?
Yeah, how artists use media.
Right. How they connect visually.
Yeah.
That line runs straight through to today's, Instagram and video world.
And people aren't just listening or watching passively, they're engaging.
Totally. Look at Graceland. Still drawing huge crowds. They've got museum exhibits, even VR tours now.
Wow, VR Graceland.
And fans themselves, they're doing things like restoring old, rare footage. It shows this really active, deep connection that just persists.
So putting it all together, his legacy is way more than just king of rock and roll.
Yeah, I think the main point is that the choices Elvis made way back when mixing those musical styles, the way he performed, his visual impact, they're still rippling outwards. They affect music, yeah, but also how we consume entertainment, technology's role, even how we think about celebrity.
It's quite profound, really. Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener.
Mm-hmm.
Think about those early moments, Elvis blending gospel and R&B in the 50s. How does that compare to artists today? How they mix different cultural sounds, different influences to create something new and reach people globally.
Is that same kind of fusion, that cross-cultural energy he tapped into, still a major force in music now?
Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.